Asking about what the difference is, if any, between the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. I think there's a lot of confusion now in the country of who exactly we are at war with, or who we should be at war with. It seems that Al-Qaeda was responsible for 9/11, but then, maybe as you were saying, Bill, the Taliban also was a good bad guy to go after. So could you say a little bit about the difference or the overlap of these two groups? Who exactly are we at war with, and what the difference is between them?
Well, I think there are major differences between the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is now, I think, thanks to the U.S. invasion of both Iraq and Afghanistan, a global network of people that are willing to do very disastrous things to themselves and to other people in order to create what they think is, I guess the anarchists used to call it a propaganda of the deed, but to create havoc and to attack what they feel is the dominant forces that are determining how people live in this world, and so it's very different. The Taliban is as I understand it, is an Afghan and partially Pakistan and Islamic manifestation, and it has a particular history that's very separate from the Al-Qaeda. There were people who were associated, including bin Laden, with Al-Qaeda, who came in and helped the Afghan people move the Soviet Union out of Afghanistan. And so there's sort of a historical relationship of obligation there that probably led to the Taliban providing a safe place, if you will. I'm not sure it was that safe for the Al-Qaeda to base from. But I think, we have to remember Al-Qaeda really, the people who attacked the Twin Towers and the Pentagon and brought the plane down in Pennsylvania were mostly Saudis. It was a reliable, trusted ally of the United States government, buys lots of weapons from our own Boeing and others, and is not that very generous with human rights in its own society. So I think if we're looking for where the Taliban where the Al-Qaeda comes from, it's a very different place than where the Taliban. But it's been very convenient for the U.S. government to use both of them as rationales for why we needed to go in and why we need to stay in Afghanistan. And it's, I think it's one of the real tragedies that Al-Qaeda was not addressed as a criminal organization, and Afghanistan respected as a sovereign government. Instead, we made war on a whole society.
Just a word, perhaps the whole idea of the expression of war on terror, and the word war being operational, was the big mistake that presumably we can call Taliban a terrorist organization, therefore we can go after them. But one should remember that the Taliban has, multiple or certainly more than one center of power. There are sort of two headquarters, or shuras as they call them, one in Quetta, Pakistan, in the southern Balochistan part of Pakistan, and the other in Peshawar, up in the northwestern part of Pakistan. And there are many of these elements in the Taliban are sort of private militias. They're not, strictly speaking, under one common hierarchical organization. There are two famous groups that hang out in North Waziristan and are protected by the Pakistanis. There's one called the Haqqi Network, and the other is the militia of Hekmat Yar, or Gulbuddin Hekmat Yar. Great names. But my main point is the Taliban, this may be a problem in the negotiation. They are not a very unified, one voice sort of organization.
As I think we could argue, Al-Qaeda is no longer unified as it was.
They have different franchises.
Running like the Democratic Party.
Yes, they did.
Nor almost none are in Afghanistan anymore.
Right,
All
yeah.
have gone